You know what, guys? It's been a while since we've done an actual car review. We're going to do one today on a company that I've never really done a review on officially, so this should be interesting. What is up, guys? My name is Mark Santamaria. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the RC vlog. Guys, new car day today. This car is from Kyosho. I've actually never have done a Kyosho review. I haven't done any Kyosho reviews. The only Kyosho review I kind of done before is the Mini Z, but that's not even really a review. That was more or less just we got into Mini Z racing. But recently I got in contact with Kyosho and we're gonna do some work together. So this is the first of hopefully many Kyosho cars we'll do reviews on. If there's any Kyosho car you want to see, let me know. Maybe I can pull one off, get one and do the review. But this is a new one. Oh, hold on. You guys can't even see me. Hello. Let me put it down. We got some paperwork. Ooh, look at that. Okay, this is just some documentation they send with the car. Whenever they send out to social media guys, YouTubers, they send like a little document sheet to kind of point out some of the new things, new features, a little bit about the car, when the car is supposed to release, which I kind of knew when this car was supposed to release, but I didn't because it was actually in a box and I hadn't opened the box yet. But nonetheless, check this thing out. Oh man, look at that. That looks so good. So Kyosho really started to catch my attention, especially with these super scale vehicles when they came out with the El Camino. There was a video I did a while back. Actually, I've done a few videos a while back at Lone Star RC Hobbies, and they had a black El Camino. And every time I saw that thing, it caught my attention because the scale look, how good it looks. And man, I've always kind of wanted one and I kind of regret not getting it. But this is the new 57 Bel Air. Maybe I'm saying it too fast, close together, Bel Air. Anyways, the new 57 Bel Air, look at that. Oh, it looks so good. We're gonna take this out of the box really quick. I love the ultra scale cars. Actually, you know what? It actually says ultra scale here. I was actually just saying I like cars that are really, really scale. But oh my goodness, love the color, love it. It's like a teal. Hold on, come on out, little guy. It's like at an angle. Check it. Look, it's kind of at an angle. You don't want to break it. Oh, here we go. That's because. Whoa. Oh man. Oh, look at that. Wow. Look at it. Oh my goodness. Still got the plastic off. Let's take the plastic off together. Ooh-wee. Oh, we're hung up. There we go. Oh my god, this thing is so freaking clean. Holy smokes, look how clean this is. I'm gonna say it, and I know it drives you guys nuts. It's almost too clean to drive. Wow, this thing is absolutely insane. I gotta shoot some B-roll of it now and show you guys now because I'm blown away. Guys, I can't stop looking at this thing. This thing looks absolutely amazing. The details are absolutely insane. I haven't even taken a body off. I don't even care. You could actually just buy it just like this and just put it on the shelf and it will definitely be a conversation starter. They killed it with the scale look in this body. My God, insane. All right, sorry, let's get back to it. In regards to the unboxing, comes with the car. And this car is based on the Fazer MK2 chassis. I have yet to drive one of these. I'm sure it's gonna drive amazing. Kyosho is known to have very great cars when it comes to handling. And here's the bottom. Looks pretty good on the bottom. Okay, let's see what comes in the box. The remote, let's check out the remote. Again, first time, whoa, this remote is, this is a beefy remote. Look at that. This remote is legit. Jeez. I like how the remote is actually cocked forward a little bit. You see how it's kind of angled forward? Because when you drive, you don't drive like this, you drive like this. It makes it really easy to drive. Also, this wheel foam is super soft. This is the first time I've actually seen and put my hands on a Kyosho RTR radio. Very, very nice. Lots of features. You got your throttle trims, your steering trims, dual rates, reverse, a couple of different LEDs, and you can do the reversing on switches on the remote. Very nice remote. I always do this. There's like this bag, right, with parts and stuff, and I'll just rip the bag open, and then I realize that yeah, there's actually, it's a Ziploc bag. I could just open it up. But in here, there's some tools in here, maybe some extra rod ends. It looks like a bind plug and rotors. Check out those rotors. With these wheels, I think these are actually 3-piece wheels. These wheels look freaking insane. You can't really see the rotors anyway, so you don't really need to put it on there. And I'm not even sure if the Bel Air, am I saying that right? Bel Air? The Bel Air, if it even had disc brakes. Maybe it just had drums. I don't know. You guys tell me in the comments below. Tell me if you know about the 57 Bel Air, if it had drums or discs in real life. I bet you it just had drums. That would be my bet. All right, taking the body off for the first time. Whoa, oh no. Okay, good. Ooh, very simple. Nice, I love it. I love it. Straight to the point. It's very clean. Look how clean it is. The chassis has all the wires hidden, just the connecting wire. Looks like maybe the switch wire is showing, but the cleanliness of how this car is laid out is really, really nice. It doesn't look like it has like a center chassis brace, but this isn't meant to be like a super hardcore basher. The drive shafts are ginormous. They're this big gray plastic. That is pretty typical to be plastic on brush cars. You'll pretty much only see the steel drive shafts on your brushless cars. It looks like it's got metal shock caps, which is really, really nice. Shocks feel good. They should be pretty stiff. Most cars you want pretty stiff in regards to your dampening. Steering assembly kind of caught me off guard. There's just like this really big, big circular pieces on the steering. Not sure why it's so large like that. I'm sure there's a reason, but it doesn't look dainty or small or like it would break really easy. If I had to guess, if you had to go buy a body like this, that's this nice with this many scale little plastic details, I would put a price of maybe 150, 175. So the car, I mean, the body pretty much pays for itself. It looks just so freaking good. Holy smokes, guys. I just looked up the price on this thing. It's $249. I thought for sure this would be at least a $350 car, especially with this amazing body. But $249, I'll put a link in the description below where you can go purchase this thing. There's a whole bunch of different bodies on this chassis too, so you gotta check out the other really, really cool scale bodies. But without further ado, I gotta drive this thing. It's just too freaking awesome. Alright guys, so the verdict is in. The first thing I'll say is as soon as I hit the trigger on this thing, it has an incredible amount of low end torque. Like, it was really torquey on the bottom end. So much so, like, as soon as you barely pull the throttle, it feels like there's almost a throttle curve that is higher on the low end, if that makes sense. So it has a lot of punch. It's almost like your punch is turned up like crazy, which it's not bad, because it still has a really good top speed also. So the amount of power this thing has really surprised me. Now with that said, it was really easy to drive. I didn't feel like I was worried to wreck it or I was worried to lose control. It's stuck to the ground. You can drive it with confidence. It's definitely a good beginner / intermediate car for someone who just wants something that looks really cool and they can drive it around the streets. Not a hard car to drive at all. I don't know how Kyosho did it, but somehow they figured out a way to make the car look really low. However, it doesn't bottom out. And when I say it doesn't bottom out, like the chassis didn't hit the cement at all or the body never kind of scraped, it actually was really good. Like, typically whenever I go up and down my driveway, whenever I get onto the street, like transition into the street, it will pretty much, you know, scratch the bottom a little bit. Not on this car. It had just enough ground clearance where you weren't worried about clipping bumps or anything like that, but it still has a really solid low stance, which looks really freaking good. Now when I first turned it on and started hitting the steering did seem a little bit slow. However, after driving it, I don't think you need anything more than what's already in it. I never felt like I was waiting for the car to turn. It actually probably has a little bit of oversteer in lower speeds and maybe just a bit of understeer at high speeds, which might be because of the servo, but the steering never came in question when I was driving it. Typically, if the steering or the servo is weak, I can tell I'm driving like, oh yeah, that must be the servo. The servo's not strong enough or too slow. It's perfect. It drives really, really well. It doesn't need any more than it has. However, whenever you do turn it on and you kind of steer it, you can kind of tell it did feel a little slow. Now let's start with the goods. The goods of this car is I don't think they could have done any better on the looks. The looks are absolutely impeccable. It looks freaking amazing. I mean, it turned heads. Everyone who saw the car when we were driving at the park, they want to get closer. It looks freaking amazing. It looks very scale, and it looks very hobby grade-ish, if that makes sense. Like, it doesn't look like a car that would be like a toy grade that you would get like a Walmart or a Kmart or a Target or anything like that. Are there even Kmarts anymore? I love the simplicity. Everything is super simple. Pretty much everything you need to do to control the car is on the remote, or change any settings on the remote. It was already set to LiPo mode. The layout is super clean. As I showed you guys, there was like no wires exposed, nothing like that spark question. I didn't have to program the ESC or anything, recalibrate or anything like that. So it's a super simple car. Great for a beginner. They can just buy the car, throw a battery in it, and drive it. Also, I love the tires. The tires are VTA style tires. I don't know, you might be able to actually run this in the VTA class, but because the tires are VTA style, they're probably really good on the track. Unfortunately, I'm too far from the track to be able to get some footage on it. Actually, I don't think they're open today, but I will be taking this to the carpet track and running it in the VTA class to see how it does. But man, I don't want to hurt this beautiful body. Now, in regards to the bads, I would say the arms, they look a little dainty. You kind of see it there. When I say dainty, I mean they look small and brittle. Now, with that said, I drove it and it's cold outside. It's probably low 30s. I didn't break anything. I don't think it's a durability problem. So it just kind of looks dainty, but I would expect something a little bit beefier, that at least looks a little beefier, but again, it wasn't a problem. Also, this car isn't really a basher per se. That's not something that you're going to want to jump a lot and do some really, really hard things on it. I think it's more of like a really nice, pretty hobby grade car. So although I'm saying it's a bad, it wasn't a problem whenever I drove it. The ESC seemed a little bit outdated. There weren't very many options on the ESC, which is good for beginners, but bad for, I guess, general hobbyists. Like, there's not much you can change on it. There's those little jumper pins where you can change whether it's LiPo or nickel monohydride. You can also change brake, reverse, those kind of things. But the ESC is definitely pretty basic. Again, bad thing for a hobbyist, good thing for someone that's new in the hobby. And lastly, the drivetrain is a little loud. Not loud where it's annoying or bad, and it's not like an unhealthy loud where it's like grinding gears. It's just the drivetrain meshing together. You can kind of hear it. Whenever I first got the car turned on, I drove it inside the house, and it was loud enough to kind of trigger my dogs a little bit. But some of the newer cars these days with all the machine gears are pretty quiet. This one, not so much. All in all, I'm gonna give this car a big 2 thumbs up. All the problems that I pointed out weren't actually problems. They were kind of just things that I observed, but it never really came to a problem. If you're just gonna buy this car, set it up because it looks good and drive it, you're not gonna have any problems. We drove it actually pretty hard on one full LiPo pack, and not one time did I feel like we were braking it or pushing it beyond its limits. It held together really well, and it was a pleasure to drive. Well, I hope you liked this video, guys. If you did, smash the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn on the notification bell, and you guys will see me next time. Later, guys.